All right, so that was interesting. We struggled to get on there, but we got it now.
It's
Um,
always a struggle.
that's true. I had there's an API error apparently, but we got it figured out.
Mm.
So one second, I'm just gonna quickly do something here. Let's get all set up. Do some quick sound
You do
checks.
that.
Can you just say something? Say anything? Just see if it catches on.
Anything, something.
Cool. All right. This is the new year, 2023, and I should probably get a beanie. So I'll be AFK for like 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
You should probably get. Yes, you should get a beanie.
Do something here. Let's get all set up. Do some quick sound
You
checks.
do that.
Can you just say something? Say anything?
There's nothing. There isn't anything.
I wonder if we do this long enough, maybe we'll get like a beanie sponsorship or something. Anyway,
Beanie sponsorship.
that's kind of
I
cool.
mean, you're wearing Adidas. I'm wearing Carhartt, so
We'll probably whip that around. No free advertisement, but then again, it's like I'm gonna watch this maybe like 4. All right. Yeah, we're back on. Sorry about the missing last week. By the way, that was an error on my end. I could have
yeah, it was
planned
there
better.
on all our ends. We just didn't plan it out very
Right. Yeah.
well.
Because as you know, I'm African, and so my church does like an overnight service, and I had to be there pretty early. It was like it was a Saturday to a Sunday, and we just stream on Saturday evenings. That's right now. So I had to be there super early, and then my day just kind of flew by.
Yeah, that's every freaking day for me right now. Some
Flying
days
by.
it's just like you get up and you're like, sweet, I got a whole day, I got stuff to do. Then you blink and it's already like 3 p.m. You're like, what?
That's interesting. So I
Let's
guess
go.
you have to get too personal, but like when you get up, what's your daily routine like? And just like I guess, yeah, what's your daily routine looking like these days?
So I try to get up around 8:30
Mm.
if I can.
If you can,
And
what do you
then
mean?
uh my sleep schedule's been pretty wacky, shall we say, for the past couple weeks. So I've been slowly getting it back to normal.
Okay.
And so um when I get up, I try to forego coffee for about an hour if I
Okay.
can.
Okay.
So that's just me reading the news and stuff like that and all that stuff in the mornings, trying
Okay.
to wake up. So yeah. And whatever various tasks I have, I go and still show on the side for some people, but right now it's just nothing going on. I saved up enough money from working during the warm season to be able to last the winter.
Right.
So
Okay, that's cool. I'm trying to figure out where your time is going, literally, because you said you'd blink and 3.
well, I'll just like sit down and I'll start reading something or watching something or doing something else, right? Or trying to do like some side hustle thingamajigger, and I just look up. I'm like,
My day's
it's
gone.
2 hours. What the heck? Yeah.
But is it like are
And
you
if
in a
you
kind
let
of
the days go long, it's not.
it also like
Sorry,
also
what?
the illusion of winter too. It's good because like with winter at 5 you're like it's super dark, and we're in the upper Midwest, so there's no
That's probably why my sleep schedule's so screwed up because I'll be like, maybe I should go to bed now. And I look, it's only 6 o'clock in the evening. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, well, I'll stay up a couple more hours. Otherwise, I'll get up super early. But then it turns into 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So
Jeez,
it's
dude,
so
okay.
hard to tell the time.
That is rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Then my eating schedule's like, I got to get that back in order because then I get hungry at like 11. I'm like,
Weird.
that means I'm not sleeping for a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you also don't
Bad.
have the best diet either. Like we're gonna like lots of carbs, and then you're cracked up on sugar or something like that for a while.
Just insults my diet. Okay, thanks.
I mean, like I don't have the best diet either. Like literally yesterday, all I ate was like clementines and like cheese crackers. So like,
Oh, jeez.
my mom was like, "You're losing weight." I'm like, I don't think so.
I'm fine.
I'm just shriveling up and dying slowly. But yeah, my goal this week is to literally be better about everything. I just did not.
Yeah.
I did not properly plan my week last week, and that was not a good thing. I mean, I was productive ish, but I was sleeping like 3 hours for like 2 days. So it was a whole thing. But yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
not good.
let's start. I think you should probably take the lead on this one because it's a pretty interesting idea you brought up.
Okay, so as the title of this stream says, this is a year in review. We were going to try to do the Christmas episode, but I'm like, okay, no, that ship sailed. We'll do it next year.
Yes.
So at least we have a topic for next year.
Right.
Or this year. Now, huh?
Ha ha ha! You're so funny. God.
I am hilarious indeed.
Also,
I like that you know that.
your only flaw is that you're extremely modest.
I know, so modest, much the modest. But yeah, so we decided that we would, with the new year of anime and all that stuff coming out now, that we should go back over what we watched last year and pick our favorites and pick what we think was the best. And now I think it's mostly going to be a list of stuff that came out last year, but it could also be stuff that we just hadn't seen before and watched. So yeah.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
then we'll have a couple other categories of like I personally want to do like the most disappointing anime of the year.
so I think again, you're
And
probably gonna take the lead on that one because like most listeners probably.
Oh, yeah,
wouldn't
you
know. I
don't-
outsource like my literally anime watching all to you. Like I don't even bother until like I want to watch a new anime. I'm like, yo, Jake, what are you up to? I just like 1 at night or something. I'm like, yo, you up, kind of thing. And then I'm like, dude, I'm itching. I need something. And then he'd be like, okay, here's what you should watch.
Yeah, you start scratching your neck, and it's very odd.
Like also, like, one thing you do is like, here's what to watch. Here's what I would recommend you watch this show with. He was super sad or super happy, something like that. And then like here's you give like a whole. Again, you're a good anime drug dealer, dude. I should call you like the ADA.
Yeah, I'm like, this is an upper, this is a downer, man. Gotta be careful, man.
Right.
Don't OD on man.
I just want to make of that. Yeah. But anyway, so that'll be interesting for you to talk about because.
That awkward silence said all it needed to say. But yeah, like I think we should just go back and forth here.
Okay.
I think we should do that.
I think a good place to start for me is literally the best anime of the year last year, Chainsaw Man. Don't even get me started on anything else. That show is so transgressive and so good. Like it's so
Yeah.
like for a main character, I think they'll do something interesting with him. Like he's an interesting main character to me. Do you disagree with that pick for best show of the new show of the year?
He is, yeah, pretty much. Like there's a couple of other ones that can like fight it for a bit there, but overall, just when it comes to animation, the action, the
Storyline.
characters themselves, and again, the storyline, and what I like most about it is they do not make the MC like he's likable, but in a very, very different sense than what's usually thought of.
Yeah.
So if you think of like Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, he's just a lovable main character.
Yeah.
But Denji is almost literally a psycho.
He becomes one. Yeah.
Like he has to he has to talk himself into feelings
Right.
effectively.
Right.
And he's like, I mean, if my friend died, I'd probably be sad for 2 days and then move on.
And
And it's like that's
you see, and that's a really good spot to talk about his emotional state and development, because at that point in time he was like, oh, he was actually getting into feelings, but was like, too much work. I'll just go do something else or whatever. And I think another telling part of it was when I don't know who said this, but he was asked, would you rather fight on the demon side or fight on the police or whatever they're called side? I was like, oh, the police. Like, I guess
the
whichever
human side. Yeah, it was like
whichever treats
who's
me
gonna take
well.
care of me. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so I'm like, that's whichever takes care of you. That's interesting. It's such an interesting show because, like, the main character's motivations are literally like
buttered toast, almost literally.
It's so.
He's like Ed from Ed, and Eddie.
It's so good. That's a really, really good show. To quickly unnecessarily philosophize about this real quick, I find it interesting that like, so normally in society we make this point a lot where men should pursue women, so to speak, and that pursuit is what gives men motivations. So you can think about this more in terms of relationships, where like if there's no physical intimacy between a guy and a girl, it's not gonna go. It's not gonna go anywhere, right? Because maybe the lady might manipulate her way into marriage or whatever, but it's like there's nothing motivating the guy to continue to pursue. There's nothing motivating the guy to continue to go on. And when it comes to this show, it's like what is motivating? Like it's almost like his motivations keep taking on character, so to speak, but the motivation, what is motivating him in that sense is literally his want for physical things. So far, at least, like is not materialistic per se, because he doesn't really want to have like the nicest cars, but he's materialistic in the sense that what his motivations are literally material stuff, but also women. And I'm like, and this is a question that the show had to confront pretty early and pretty well, where it's like the show had to pretty much confront, like, is this a good motivation for a character to have? The question was literally asked. I think there was like, oh, what is motivating? Like, I want to kill the gun devil or something like that, and someone to do whatever. And they asked Denji, like, what is your motivation? And it was like, I want to grab a boob or something. Literally, again, it might sound weird to me, I haven't watched this, but it's like, that is one of his motivations. And they were like, and in a way, he kind of, the people that were asking the question were like, a bit insulted by that, because they're like, I'm here like having this, honorable goal to like, kill the gun devil and make the world a better place or whatever, and you're just saying all you want to do is grab a boob. And I think the show really
it's like, I think Denji. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. I was just gonna say the show really has to confront that question early on, but go on.
No, I think he gives lie to the motivations of a lot of people. So, like, what's the motivations of like Himino and what's the guy's name? Long hair. Right.
I don't know what his name is, but he's like pretty much Denji's handler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up here.
Their motivation is literally just vengeance.
Right.
We want to get back at the gun devil for killing our families. Mm-hmm. And Denji's is just, well, he wants some form of love.
Yes.
And he can't comprehend that. But
but the character's name is Aki Hayakama or whatever. Aki?
Aki, okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, all of them are like willing to throw themselves into danger for these very basic motivations.
Right.
And Kobini, for example, is like, I'm supposedly there just for the paycheck.
Right.
But as we can see in the world today, people can be motivated to do a lot of things for money. Mm-hmm. So it's not you can't look down. I think the main point of that was you can't look down on any one of their motivations because it's like, yeah, it's like, it's the end result.
Right.
Effectively.
And in a way, you kind of have to confront your motivations, because you're like, because it's very easy for each and every one of us to convince ourselves that our motivations are like the best and the most noble, and like, or like, have like a huge backstory behind it. When if you just took, if you just saw Denji when he became I guess demon police or whatever, what are they called again? Demon hunter or something, whatever.
Devil hunters.
Devil hunter, yes. Yeah. And like what is it called? Secret police. No, I'm mixing my anime now. But yes, devil hunters. And you heard the motivation, and you didn't know what was behind that. And then you go watch what was behind it. You're like, okay, yes, I get it now, right? In a way, it's like the backstory makes the motivation, not necessarily. Like, the backstory is the motivation, not necessarily the goal per se. So in the end, it becomes like who has a more interesting backstory. Um, but
Yeah.
but it's like, if even in that sense, it's like who's to say that your backstory is better, right? It's like, you could be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I lost my whole family or something. Your worst feelings or about stuff, like the worst you've ever felt about something, I assure you, every human being has that, per se. It might not be like in the same. If it's a weight on a scale, it might not be the same per se. But it's like you feeling at your worst. You know what that's like. I know what it's like to feel at my worst. It might be different situations, kind of thing. So yeah, I found that pretty interesting, and also I like the fact
Yeah.
that the show had to confront that, like literally, because it's like, we talk about this a lot on these shows where like we think, we for a character to be a good character, there has to be a relatability, almost like a relatability meter, right? So like maybe like 96% relatable main character, storylines. Like, it has to be like a relatable character, or like a character that can motivate the listener or the watcher or the enthusiast, like get in and buy it and buy into the character. And I think the question with Chainsaw
Yeah.
Man was like, can a guy who just wants to grab a boob, who wants to eat all the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the world, can that kind of character carry a whole show? And
Yeah.
I think it does a pretty good job of being like, yeah, I mean, that's the kind. It can't really carry a whole show. So yes, I think Chainsaw Man, and it seems like you agree as well, top and new anime of the year. So what do you think is a runner-up? Like, if Chainsaw
Yeah,
Man didn't...
Probably, I'd say personally, Spy Family, or Spy X Family, however the heck you say it.
That came out last year?
Yeah, it came out in 2022.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I feel bad. I feel bad now. Because that was a good... Okay, so the runner-up is Spy X Family. I guess why? Why is that your runner-up?
One, animation, just
Beautiful.
spectacular. Yeah. But also the characters are just incredibly lovable and dynamic, right?
Yes.
And you have... So, okay, I think we discussed this before, but like the biggest flaw with shows like Naruto and shows like that with a large cast is that you oftentimes focus too exclusively on one character and you lose the context of the surrounding characters.
Yep.
So what shows like MHA, for example, do well, though, is that you make the audience have an opinion of almost every single character that you come up against. Right? They give some form of backstory. They give some form of quirk that makes you say, "Okay, I have an opinion of that guy." Excuse me. And so that's what Spy Family does very, very well. But it also helps that it has a much smaller cast than some shows. So, yeah, so the relatability and the likability of all the characters are just top notch.
Yes. And it doesn't... So, the stakes are really high, right? Like, literally, the stakes of the main show. Oh, the East and West might go to war, and then millions of people. Like, the stakes are pretty high. Even the stakes in the family are pretty high, where it's like the father's lying to the mother's lying to the father and the child, father and child lying. Like, this all like this whole lie. Like, it's like a web of lies, so to speak.
It's all built on lies.
Right. It literally is built on lies.
So let's go off that. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, go on.
So okay, so I think we talked about this at some point with Your Lie in April. Underneath all the happiness and stuff like that, and all the comedy and stuff like that, is an underwhelming sense of sadness and tragedy.
Right.
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 And this is incredibly compelling. So for Anya, her desperation is to have a family,
Yes.
to not be sent back to the orphanage, to not be gotten rid of. And that's her underlying motivation for everything she does. And Lloyd is to literally, as he says, left a frog in my throat. As he says early on in the show, my goal is to make sure no child ever has to cry again. Which sounds a bit absurd, but you see a flashback of him walking down the street as a child crying because, he's in a bombed out city. And it's not really Anya, Lloyd, what's the wife's name? Crap.
She's your wife. Ha ha ha. Get it? I'm so funny.
I wish.
Dude, okay. That's another thing I'll talk about though. By the way, about the anime, because you've been sus for the past couple of days, dude, and we gotta talk about that.
Sus?
Yes.
There's no sus. It's fact.
It's a fictional character. She doesn't exist.
I don't believe you.
How many body pillows? Tell me. How many do you have?
Like counted or in actuality? It's different questions.
I guess both.
I lost count.
You're lost cause, dude. Put your pinky down, you. God, you're so insufferable. Put the pinky down, you. Freaking nerd. Why? I hate you so much right now. Again. All right, so
And Yor is driven by an overwhelming sense of duty to her brother.
Yes.
Now, it seems like hers is a kind of a complicated case because her brother's grown and he's well able to care for himself now. But she still has that sense of duty to him and that she needs to, in a way, care for him.
Right.
So,
by not making him worry, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But so she cares for him by not making him worry. So like not making him have to worry. If that makes any sense. Well, it's an interesting way of caring for someone. It's another thing we can go down. But go on.
Yeah. So, in underlying all those motivations is a growing, I don't want to say attraction between all of them, but they're slowly but surely growing to love one another.
Yes.
And
Question
they don't.
Question
Anya
real
is
quick.
most open.
Sorry, what was that?
Anya is the most open thus far, but
yeah. Yes. Question on that real quick. Do you think the attraction will grow to, in a way, be bigger than... Because if they literally said if they brought out all the secrets right now, saying, I am a spy, I'm an assassin, I can read minds, right? If they said that, the only person that I think would be more accepting is Anya, because she knows. They're hiding it from her. But what do you think of the issue between Yor and what's his name? Main character.
Lloyd.
How do you think that would go? How do you think that would go?
Right now?
Well, yeah, right now.
Not well.
Not well, exactly. So would the love eventually... Do you think the love eventually grow to be able to, I guess, and be able to forgive a lie like that?
I think with the direction the series is going, I would be really, really freaking shocked if it didn't.
Right.
But I think, like, being realistic, I think so. Because it's not a lie out of maliciousness, right? Because Lloyd's line of work is like, you have to.
Right.
And Yor's line of work is she definitely has to.
Yeah. She's cleaning up the streets.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's then again, I listened to a podcast a while ago with I can't remember which podcast it was, but it was on like how the CIA operates and stuff like that. And the guest who was former CIA was like, yeah, it's really common to date and marry within the agency. Because it's so hard to keep those secrets
Right.
to someone on the outside. And it puts a lot of strain on you because you just can't say anything. But if you're both in the agency, it's easier because even if you can't say what you're doing or what's going on, the other person implicitly understands that, no, this is just how it is. And he's not being malicious. He's not hiding something from me because he hates me.
Question on that. So to go off that framework, do you think Yor and Lloyd would be able to understand the other's profession in such a way that would make them like, okay, I get it.
Definitely. Like, so, yeah, like, so as long as Lloyd didn't think that Yor was like butchering random innocent people, or worse yet, targeting the West, then I think he would come to understand it because he doesn't do dissimilar things, really.
Right.
Not really. He's a little more. He has more finesse about it.
Right. I mean,
but fundamentally, it's the same thing.
I would have to say Yor has more finesse about it, and at least how she kills people. It's just insane. She's like flipping off ceilings or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, but she leaves a mess. Well,
which she cleans up really, really well.
So
Again, look, I will say,
yeah,
wifey material is anyone that can like spotless house, and Yor definitely feels that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But Lloyd is like, I compare him to like, have you ever seen an anime called Don't You Know I'm Sakimoto?
No.
Okay, I'll have to send it to you because it's actually very, very, very entertaining anime. The plot is very similar to that of Shikamori's Not Just Security. In the main character in there is just, well, a badass. That's what he is. He can do basically anything. And Lloyd is very much like that.
Right.
That there's not much he can't do.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, what's clever about it is they make it where he's like, yeah, he's far from helpless, but at the same time, he's incredibly helpless.
Right.
Because he's having to deal with the sheer chaos of every situation.
Right. And Anya's...
And finally, with Anya, he just gives up. It's like, whatever.
Right. Like, she's the ultimate, like, kid, literally, because... I'm not a father. I don't know if you know this or not. I know you like to think I have multiple side chicks and, like, multiple baby mamas, but I don't.
I thought the last count was 27 illegitimate children.
That went up? I didn't know. It's almost like having a net worth on Wikipedia, right? It's like, oh yeah, your net worth is this, and people are like, that's my net worth? I didn't even know I had a net worth. Anyway, so I think Anya is the perfect kid for Lloyd because it's like, the thing about being a dad is like, oh, you know, you try and you try and you try, but you can't really figure out your kid, but in the end you love him so much, kind of thing, right? And so, that is being a dad for sure. And Anya does, like, she reads his mind. She knows exactly what he's thinking. She knows exactly when he's there. She adores him. Like, she wants to be, like, she adores spies, first of all. And so the fact that he's a spy, like, she's like, oh my God, like, my dad's a spy, kind of thing. And he's literally competent. Like, any of her mess, he can clean up her messes, but just he cannot pin her down, kind of thing. Which is pretty.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's funny. So going off of Anya. So sorry.
Can you not hear? Like, am I lagging or something?
Sorry, it like froze up. It's been spotty for me the whole night, but.
Oh, I didn't.
Sorry. So sometimes you'll like slow down and you gotta wait to.
Oh, okay.
Hear you.
Gotcha. You gotta get better internet,
yeah,
dude.
So apologies for that one.
Okay.
When I'm not poor, maybe.
Yeah, but it's like, this is your job. This is literally your job right now. Get an Ethernet cord.
Fair enough. I will attempt. That's actually a smart idea. I would have to get an adapter. But anyways, going off of the Anya point, is she's she and Damien, the son of Desmond, and all that stuff, the target, they're both interesting characters in the sense of all they want to do is please their parents. But they also fail all the time. For Damien, it's the fact that he's just never good enough for his father. For Anya, it's the same thing, except Lloyd doesn't have insane expectations.
He kind of does.
But she just keeps...
Right, that's true. That's
to a
true.
certain extent, but over the series, he's just like kind of learns to let it go. He's
Right,
I don't know anymore.
Like, I'll just find a backup plan. At least she goes to the school or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a really interesting point. Like, with the wanting the father's approval, that's a really, really interesting point, because in a way you can kind of, and also it's kind of interesting how they go about doing that, right? So with Damian, it's literally like, oh, I'm just gonna try to be as good or better than my brother, to like follow the path that I've laid in front of me. But with Anya, it's like, look, yeah, I want to be able to help you out, but it's like I'm not gonna get a Stella. Like, there's no way I'm gonna get. I'm not smart enough. I don't want to study, right? But she goes about like for example, when she saved him from the bomb, right? It's like in that place you truly see where her heart is, because you're like, okay, she's not literally, that's her character was literally in that show, like literally in that arc, because like she's not smart enough to figure stuff out quickly, but she's, I guess, adorable enough in such a way that stuff works out for her, right? And even how she thinks is not. It's kind of hard to predict, right? It's kind of interesting. Oh yeah, let's put a massive sign saying "Don't enter this hall" or whatever. Yeah, I that's a really interesting point. I'll probably look out for it more.
Again, it's also a case of like tragedy underlying the comedy,
right?
Because she has images of her father, just dying from a bomb in that case. But when she used ketchup to say, no, don't go in here or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's one of a tragic comedy in a sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Except it doesn't end in tragedy yet.
Right. Huh. Okay. Yeah, that is a good run. That's a good runner up. I would actually say they're tied.
Yeah, just in different ways. So like
right.
Chainsaw Man is incredibly violent. So it's like if someone just doesn't like that, like, then go Spy Family.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Which do you think we have? I guess. Which do you think we have a broader following per se? Because it's not obvious to me. Oh, it's not obvious to me that like people like us discriminate too much and work out. Now we won't watch ecchi, of course not, or like hentai or whatever. But it's like
there's only one ecchi show that I saw recently that I'm like, this is actually a good show.
Okay.
You won't like it, and I won't recommend it to you, but it's called My Dress Up Darling.
Okay.
It's both it's ecchi, but is the most wholesome romance on the planet.
More wholesome than Your Lie in April?
Not to the well, that's just tragic and sad.
Yeah,
that's
but okay, look,
wholesome exactly.
Like I think it is wholesome, because literally there was, like I said to you before, like there was no fan service at all.
Whenever you say that, oh, she's dying.
Okay, I see what you mean. I don't do for that. But what I meant wholesome, I mean like the romance is pure kind of thing. It's but yeah. I wasn't saying, oh, look how sad he is playing the piano. Or I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
It's funny because like I make these jokes and there's a lag time, and then I see your reaction. So I'm just like, oh, he probably got the joke now, because like you can't really see me. But yeah,
we need to do this. We need to do this together at some point
in person.
in time,
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah, it'll be so much freaking better.
And
Oh
I do
boy.
have I have lots of things planned for it. Like I have a stage kind of set up. I might turn
Ha.
off my AC so it doesn't sound as much. But yes, I have it all set up. Now I might buy a couch then. We'll see. I don't want to, but I'll probably just will get one.
You remember so in our living room when we shared the apartment, the couch, the small little couch that I always sat on?
Yes.
Sorry, it's a lag. Okay, sorry. You gotta like verbalize it,
Oh,
my
okay,
man.
okay, cool. I
Verbalize.
remember. I remember. Yep.
Yeah. Um, you can get one of those. Super small, super light, and probably pretty cheap.
Okay.
I gave it to my brother, and I'm pretty sure his butt's imprinted on it at this point in time.
Ha. Okay.
Like,
That's a good recommendation. I'll check it out.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Crap. What was it talking about?
So we said best show, best new show of the year, and close
Mm-hmm.
second, I guess a tie, a runner up or something. So
Yeah.
what was the best show you watched the whole year? There's not. It might be the same one, but
Best show. Probably Chainsaw Man, to be honest with you.
wow. Okay. I thought you were gonna do something different, but yeah.
What did you think I was gonna say?
Um, I thought you'd give me like some weird because you do watch some niche animes. I thought you'd like, give some. Also,
I
like,
do, but like,
when was that Demon Slayer arc? Wasn't that last year?
I think it was.
And you
I'm
love
not
that
sure.
arc.
2021 and 2022 kind of blended for me for some reason.
Same, but you love that arc. So I thought you said something like that or something like that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because I literally asked
Maybe
this
I just
question
didn't think of Demon Slayer because I always maybe it probably
because I literally asked this question
Yeah.
on the group chat. I said, look,
was it made this spring.
I don't know.
Let me check real quick. I was trying to limit it to a certain extent.
I can do it here.
I got it. Oh, 2022.
Yep.
Huh. Oops. Yeah, I love that one, but just I think from the amount of, I guess, feelings I had, Chainsaw Man was it's probably recency bias too. But Chainsaw Man just gave all of that just in spades, and I kind of wish I had waited to watch it until I could binge it all at the same time, because those cliffhangers were mean. It wasn't even fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think overall, but Demon Slayer is a definite runner-up on that one. Or the latter half of the season. We watched Mugen Train. I love Mugen Train, but the problem is they released the film, but then they just released the film as episodes.
Right.
The second season, I was mad when I found out about that one, man. So I'm like,
look, they gotta do what they gotta do. But yes, I was also disappointed with that. I will say that to quickly just talk about the Demon Slayer arc. Like I asked you this question. I said, what is the best Hashira? And you literally said the sound Hashira. So the Hashira that we saw in the last episode. And I was like, that's interesting because I would say like Tanji. No, I know his name. Fire Hashira.
we're great with Rengoku.
Yes. I would have said, Rengoku is like the coolest Hashira. You said literally sound. I guess make a case here while I destroy it.
He's Giga Chad, dude.
That's not an argument.
Right? Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
So says Chad.
He's Giga Chad. It's not even a syllogism. It's just like it's a statement of fact. Like that's not an argument.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Yeah.
make the case. Make the case.
Oh, okay, I think so. Well, I guess to be fair, we've only seen really 3 of the Hashira in action thus far, so that might change down the road. So let's just put that out there first and foremost.
Uh-huh.
Tenjin has that wild, almost psychotic vibe about him, but underneath all of that is deep, deep love for those around him, just in his own way, in a sense. As well as an extreme amount of guilt over things he's done. You get a little bit of that from Rengoku. I think that's probably a common thing with all the Hashira because of just the amount of pain and suffering they've gone through and witnessed. Which is why Tanjiro is so unique. Like, as we saw from Mugen Train, like his soul's pure still. He doesn't hunt. What's the main demon's name? Crap.
Again, really great with names.
We're great with it, obviously. I'm just glad I remember the main character's name at this point. I'm just glad.
Muzan.
I wanted to say Mugen, but I'm like, that's a train, you moron. Yeah. Muzan.
Yeah.
He wants to hunt Muzan not so much for vengeance, but really for justice, right? It's like the reverse of the Nietzschean claim that when we say justice, we really mean vengeance. Right. And so, but from Tanjiro, I get the real sense of he just wants him to stop.
Right.
He just, and you see it with his interaction with all the demons. Like a lot of the Hashira, the Flower Hashira, the Rengoku to a certain extent, and Tenjin, they have a very dismissive, if not malicious, view of the demons, which makes sense, right? They're demons. But I think it's really only Tanjiro who understands that this is their nature, right? Like, it's the old proverb of, like, don't be angry at the scorpion for stinging you, for that is what it does. And I think Tanjiro understands that he needs to put them to rest.
Right.
So, crap, we just went out of the way here. But I think...
That's a really good point.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think... So, Tanjiro is pure, right? But... And Tenjin has that guilt. You know, he's a cool Hashira. But it's like... I guess... the way I phrase the question, you have to compare them, so to speak. Like, compare them, like, oh yeah, how... You know, how cool of a... But I guess the way I think about it is, like, how influential of a Hashira is, like, who is the most influential Hashira on, I guess, who is the most impressionable on you, and who's most influential on, like, the main character, right? That's how I think, like, who's the coolest, so to speak.
I think on the main character, that has to be the Water Hashira. I can't remember his name. What is it?
Shocker.
Because he's the first demon slayer he's encountered. Except, his father, but, you know. First demon slayer he's encountered. And Tanjiro managed to convince him not to kill his sister. Right? And we can't forget, of course, that Tanjiro first learned water breathing before fire or, was it sun breathing or whatever he uses? Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting...
It's sun breathing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Peanut Gallery.
You have your own personal fact checker? Dude, dang. How much money are you paying him?
Nothing at all. In fact, you could say he lives here rent-free. But yeah, so I think he's made the most impact on Tanjiro, but I wouldn't say Rengoku didn't. I think Tanjiro has a huge amount of guilt over Rengoku in the sense that he wasn't able to help.
Right.
He wasn't able to do anything. And with Tenjin, you don't have that, though, because Tenjin managed to get out alive.
Right. So, okay. I'll grant you this point, right? That is a hard question to answer because you can take it multiple ways. You can take influential on the main character, impressionable on you. Now you could say who had the coolest like Hashira entrance into a fight or something that turned the tide, and for sure it's the Sound Hashira because when he came in fighting, it was just like, oh, night and day kind of a thing, right? You could also think of Rengoku, like literally like his entrance into that train. No, like him in that train was just like a different level of just like, oh my god, this guy's insanely good, right? And his entrance
Yeah.
in his fight with the upper three.
The Upper Moon.
Yeah.
Moon 6.
Yeah, but so you could say like, oh, who had the coolest fight per se? Who had the more influential? Like there are multiple ways to take that. But for me, I still think on net, Ren Goku is the coolest Hashira like because I say, well, they are unapologetically who they are, but like Ren Goku is like almost like it's not a character for him because in a way the Sound Hashira is kind of a character, right? It's like hair down, Giga Chad, then he puts up the the chains or whatever he does, and you can kind of feel like he's almost like playing a character.
He did say he's the god of festivals.
Right.
When
Rengoku's like delicious, and I'm like that's so like it's so authentic. And
he's the archetype at that point in time.
Right, like, it feels authentic to me, and I think that's really cool. Then again, I'm also partial because I see myself in Rengoku a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah. But yeah,
that's fair.
That's a good so your pick for your favorite anime of the year.
Definitely, my favorite fight scene has to be the fight between not only Tanjiro but Tenjin and what's his face, the demon they took out. Again, we just Google.
Yeah.
It's the Google show.
What was the arc again?
It was in the red light district. What is it called? Crap, we're great at this.
I guess keep talking. I'll try to find it here.
Yeah, so that fight was hands down the entertainment district. Oof.
Yes. Okay.
That was hands down the most spectacular fight I saw this season. Like, I think a close second would be a couple of fights in Mob Psycho, but
yeah, that's a good one.
Just we'll talk about that here in a bit, but just from sheer beauty and the length and the brutality of it, hands down, just awesome.
So
yeah,
like I agree. Like the animation too. Like I remember we were just sitting there, just like stunned that night. Wow, like my mouth was open, literally. Like, dude, I was.
I think we rewatched it too.
Like I was jumping. I remember I standing like, oh my god, that's so cool, kind of thing. Yeah, I agree. That fight was stunning to watch. Like, literally the angles of the camera, like it was so good, bro. Like remember when he was on that roof? He got there and then dude, the camera did like a dude, that was so beautiful to watch. I remember that. It's so yeah, I agree. Put your freaking pinky down, you piece of crap. No one see your pinky, dude. Don't be so weird. Anyway. So mine will probably have to be this is hard. Okay, I'll say the three that I really enjoyed this year, and then no particular order. Mob Psycho I really enjoyed. Spy X Family I really enjoyed. Overlord I really enjoyed. Right? And I was gonna say Chainsaw Man, but you know my opinion on Chainsaw Man, so I'm gonna call that one. But that would be on the list. I really enjoyed Spy X Family because to me Spy X Family was kind of like a nice break on a Saturday when it comes to I'm gonna watch this. I don't want to go watch like something depressing. I was gonna watch a fun. Thank you for not using your pinky. Thank you. I'm gonna watch a fun thing there. and also like the show, like, it's so wholesome. It's like I watch it, I feel good about watching it. I really enjoy that. But Mob Psycho, first of all, it was a unique animation style, which I've known that I've come to love. Not to like bring this up again, but Ranking of the Kings was one of those kind of anime where I'm like just unique animation, lovely stuff.
Yeah.
When was that one? Okay, that would have been 2021, dude. Like,
that was in 2021.
Okay.
But yeah, like we'll have to do a episode of like rewatchability here soon. But yeah. I was perfectly willing to rewatch Ranking of the Kings. That was a lovely show to rewatch. Interesting.
I mean, I love the show, but I wouldn't. So it's probably talk about it next week. But like, I love the show, but I wouldn't rewatch it. Like, I just find, I don't know, it feels kind of tedious to me. But anyway, so I would say my favorite has to be, of those three, it's so hard to pick one.
I mean, you don't have to pick one.
Right. Okay. Well, those three. But really, Mob Psycho, like that was an interesting show because in a lot of ways it was very it didn't subvert my expectations too much, which I was kind of, so I love it when an anime subverts my expectation, and I would say this right now about Attack on Titan. That was also a good show. Like season 6.
I haven't seen season 4 yet. I'm waiting until it's complete so I can just.
Season 6, you mean?
Because I know it. What?
Season 6, you mean?
Oh, geez. 6.
Or like season 4. Well, are you way back there?
I just forgot it was season 6.
Okay.
Oofta.
Yeah. So I would say this, but I don't want to ruin Attack on Titan for you when you eventually watch it. I'm
gonna have to like pair it. I'm gonna have to get some like palate cleanser anime going. Watch one episode of that and then one episode of that.
Okay, that's smart. I recommend it. Like it's. Well, I'm also a masochist. I can sit through.
You don't have to recommend it. I know it's good.
I mean, I recommend you do the palate cleanser. I'm not saying I recommend the show.
Okay.
I mean, sorry. You recommend it to me, of course. But I'm also a masochist. Yeah. I can sit through like show. I can just sit through painful shows like that. I can binge it like back to back. I can do that.
I can't binge well, man. I can watch like 3, maybe 4 episodes at a time, but then I gotta take a break.
Yeah, you're a healthy guy, dude. Like again, you're a healthy, well-adjusted human being. Well, I take that back. Healthy, well-adjusted. That's too much. I mean that. But I just when it comes to watching shows, that
one, remind myself.
Like I'm just not good at rationing, man. Like I think the weekly stuff rations it for me. Yeah. So Mob Psycho, to go back there. So it does really well with expectations, meaning like what you expect to happen kind of does happen. It ends. It's a nice ending to a show. Like it's really great. And I loved it for that because like even when your expectations are kind of met in a way, it's still very compelling to watch, right? But I think it's because and it also like it does take a lot of I think inspiration or like emotional inspiration from One Punch Man. Literally, if you see Mob's phone.
Well, they're sister shows, right?
I didn't know that. I didn't know they were sister shows.
Yeah.
But you see,
even though like for some reason One Punch Man hasn't gotten his 3rd season.
I don't know why. But if you see Mob's phone, Mob had like One Punch Man on the as a wallpaper kind of thing. So I found a pretty cool Easter egg. So yeah, I love that show. That was a really good show.
Yeah, I liked it too. It on the subverting expectations. The one thing it did subvert was that I didn't realize how cool of a character Regan would be.
Arataka, yes. You're done with the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, caught up. Yes, Regan. So Regan was always a comic relief, right?
Yeah.
He was always the hilarious guy, and the kind of comic relief was his friend's hair. Like whenever his friend was around, I'm like, and also his friend always ended up showing his butt for some reason. Anyway, It's a funny like why are you without clothes right now?
Why you always end up naked in these fights?
Right,
It's
right, right. But Reagan in the end he does show not necessarily how much he's matured, but how mature he is. Because I don't think he grew that much. Because he's always been like he's known the whole time that he's not. Like he, literally, I knew when I knew he's like when I knew who he truly was when the episode when he talked about his backstory with jobs and stuff. I'm like, yeah, he's playing a character. He knows.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but the audience was kind of like a wall between like the audience couldn't really see that until the last episode, where like he just wore himself. He just truly wore himself, and I think that last episode was really good because it did show all the characters like truly coming into the best version of who they could be. And it's why I loved it. Like it was a really really good show. Like well made.
Yeah.
Long enough, by the way, like not too short, not too long. Because after a while, you kind of be like, okay, we get it. You're super strong. You're destroying monsters or whatever. But yes, long enough.
Yeah, what I liked about Reagan especially is that he was actually an adult.
Yes.
And I feel like so often in anime, that's an underrated thing. Like so often it focuses exclusively on the kids and stuff like that, and you rarely get the non-absent or perfunctory adult.
Right. Also, another show that does really well with that is My Hero Academia. Like the adults are adults in that show, and
not it's very clear for you. Who's the...
Sorry, go on. Well,
it's very clear who's the adult there.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was interrupting you. So.
No, it's all good. The lag on Zoom is it's real.
On what? We're not using Zoom. We're in person, right? Kidding. But dude, the day you come over, it's gonna be really fun. Cool. Yeah, it's really fun.
Watch the moment. That's when everything just blows up, and we're like, "Oops."
I doubt it would. I doubt it will. I might we might have to like
Well, I'm just gonna knock on wood, real quick. Oh, there we are. Should be safe.
Literally right now, by the way. But yeah, so to quickly go to the most disappointing anime of the year.
Shikamori is not just a cutie.
I knew you were gonna say that. I freaking knew you were gonna say that. Yes, I agree.
You know that meme of the guy who like takes a bite of the burger or whatever it is? He's like, I'm extremely disappointed. My day is ruined, or however the heck that goes.
Yeah.
That was me after like 2 episodes of that show. I'm like, this had the potential of a lifetime, but just.
I agree with that.
Fell flat.
I agree with that. I don't have any. I mean, I watched that show because you recommend. Actually, that's your one. That's your one show. One quote unquote bad recommendation you've given me, because you recommended the show to me, and I watched a couple of like that. This is not fun. Oh, so quickly, honorable mentions for me. Call of the Night is an honorable mention. It's just a really, really beautiful.
Oh yeah, that one was good.
Yeah, I think.
Made great use of limited setting and characters.
Yes,
very good use of it.
And dude, just stunning to watch. It was like almost like a psychedelic experience on its own. Like it was stunning to watch because, and also quickly talk about that. Not sleeping for an extended period of time actually almost like induces a psychedelic experience in you, and that is what the show kind of gives you with its animation. Really, really good. So highly recommend that one.
Yes.
It's on High Dive if you want to check it out. Also, is it weird to spot girls in a dungeon pickup line? I don't know what it's called.
It's called the short term is Dominici, or is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yes. So
also on High Dive.
Also on High Dive. Also, I don't know if it came out last year, but that was one of the animes I watched last year. That was a really nice honorable mention. And my last honorable mention.
Yeah. Okay.
My last honorable mention would have to go to. Your Lie in April. I can't do anything else than Your Lie in April. Dude, it's such
an oldie but a great.
Yes. Oh, it didn't come out last year, of course, but it was so good. I was gonna do like sword, reincarnated as a sword. It's also a fun one. But dude, your lie. I could not look past your lie in April. My God, like
Yep.
that was a show. Anyway, what are your three honorable mentions?
Okay, so I guess one that I guess to make another subcategory, one that I was not expecting to be good, but was good, was crap. Let me look up the full title here.
Okay.
Un momento, por favor. You keep talking while I look it up real quick.
Okay. I think if I answered that question, well, then again, I can't really answer that question because for me, if you recommend it, I just assume it's going to be good. So I just take your recommendations. But if I were to say one that I didn't expect to be good, like I honestly did not have any expectations for reincarnated as the sword. So I didn't have any expectations going into it. You did say it was going to be nice, so I guess there was that endorsement. But it's like I didn't expect anything going into it, and that show also for me did. It surprised me in how fun it was.
Okay, so this anime is titled Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world of Otome games is tough for a... Crap, it's such a long title. Yep, yeah. Trapped in a dating sim, basically.
Okay.
Just, like, I walked in there going, okay, there's a ton of good shows coming on, and, whatever. But, this will be a good trash one to watch on Wednesdays or whatever, right?
Right.
No, it turned out to be one of my favorite shows of the year, to be perfectly honest with you.
Whoa.
Because it just had a very interesting world, not the best animation, and not even the best story by far, but it was just like, wait, I want a season 2 of this. This is an interesting world, an interesting plot line, just interesting all around.
Huh.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
I guess I'll check it out myself.
It's an isekai, so yeah, like kind of trashy in a sense, but like it knows what it's doing at the same time. So yeah.
Okay.
That's mine.
How about your other two?
My other honorable mentions. My Dress Up Darling is a very, very wholesome romance thus far. Mm-hmm. Very ecchi, so I'm not recommending it for anyone under the age of 18.
Right.
At all.
Right.
Overlord is obviously just super, super freaking good. I don't care who you are. What's the other one I'm thinking of here? Sorry, I'm looking it up as I'm going here.
Gotcha. I will say, I don't know if you...
Oh, wait, I got it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead. I'm on a cliffhanger right now. Go on.
Fine. Okay. Welcome to Demon School, Aruma-kun. Huh. Just got its 3rd season. And that's another show I was not expecting to like going into it. But it turned out to be a very fun, wacky, if a bit childish show.
Okay, that's great.
Who really embrace dark humor, but make it kind of lovable in a way. So yeah.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. I was gonna say that wow, I lost. I should probably have a pen and paper for these things.
We should really do that. Okay, I forgot one. I can't believe I forgot this. I don't know why I didn't say this, but one that I deeply loved this season was Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 3.
Ooh, okay. That's a good one. I have not seen that show. I know you've recommended... I've seen a couple... Yeah. You showed a couple episodes of the show.
Oh, I have recommended it like 30 times to you. Watch the freaking show, dude.
Wow, that was a reaction I wasn't expecting from me. Excuse me? No. Oh, yes, I remember it now. So, another one you recommended to me that I think is pretty fun. Just like, it's not like a show you talk about for the ages. It kind of exists in the back of your mind. Like, I watched a fun show once. I can't remember what the name is. That was Devil's a Part-Timer. It's a fun show.
It just got a season 2 too.
Yeah, so I highly recommend that. It's really, if you have like a weekend to spare and want to binge something, that's a really good one to do as well. I guess do you have any recommendations? Like, okay, what
And
must
it's
they
just
see?
funny.
Other than Kaguya-sama Love is War, and I'm going to see that one later. Do you have any recommendations for the listeners, audience?
Um, definitely Overlord.
Yes. Second that motion.
Oh, one that you have to, that's definitely for an older audience is Mushoku Tensei. And that is for the fact that it has beautiful animation, and that is the granddaddy of all isekais.
All right.
In the sense that the light novel was written before most of the other ones that have gotten animes already. So it finally got an anime last year. And chef's kiss.
I will check it out. I've not actually seen it yet.
Yeah.
For my recommendations, like full on, fully recommend Your Lie in April. If you've not seen that show, it is great music, great background music, great awesome characters. You kind of be in a way frustrated with how your reactions. I guess I was frustrated with my reaction to Arima Kosei.
Don't spoil it if we're recommending it, by the way.
Right, of course. I was stunned by my reaction to Arima Kosei. So great. I highly recommend that one. I would say it's not a like my drug dealer would say. You should probably like watch it with something else. Like watch it with a palate cleanser because it gets to you. And so my second recommendation would have to be Chainsaw Man. Hands down. If you've not seen that show, what are you doing? Like, just go watch it right now.
Yeah.
You would love every moment of your time you're watching that show. It's violent. Don't get me wrong. It's bloody. It's very bloody. But
yep.
like a no-brainer. What was that?
Lots of language as well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you lost me. I was fine with blood, gore, and death, but the F word, no.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's a high recommendation.
Not being anyone.
Awesome. That was another week
of
live streaming. Do you have anything else to say?
Godspeed.